Welcome, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking with Owen. He's a Launchpad member who's built Trail Cube. Now, this is a business that's serving trail runners. But here's what I believe is going to make this conversation valuable. Owen didn't come into Launchpad with this idea. He had no idea what his business would be. I don't know. I don't know whether that sounds familiar to you. But what you're about to hear is the process that most people never get to see, how someone goes from, I don't know what I'd even do, to having a defined niche, a clear avatar, and a product that people are actually paying good money for. Okay. So this isn't theory. This is going to be Owen walking us through exactly how it happened for him. And after this chat, we'll open it up for your questions. So Owen, welcome and thank you very much for doing this.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you, man. So you came in with no business idea. We're going to dig into that in a moment, but before we go there, what can you tell me a little bit about your situation before Launchpad, please? I just introduce.
Yeah, and I work as an independent project manager consultant. So I work from contract to contract. So they can be anything from 6 to 12 months, and you're constantly, because of that, on your toes and looking for the next contract. And what's happening in the UK now, under legislation that came in a few years ago, is that the tax regime around independent contractors running limited companies has made it much less financially attractive. And the roles that are, so you can be inside of this legislation or outside of it. If you're outside of it, you're fine. However, the number of roles outside are shrinking rapidly. When the legislation first came in, it was reasonable. There was a good amount of work. But over the last year or so, in fact, 2 years, the number of suitable roles is shrinking, and they're becoming much more specialized, which means that the opportunity to stay in that environment is dwindling. And in order to earn the same amount as I was before outside of this legislation, if I were to be going into it where the jobs are, I would have to double my day rate, and nobody will pay that. So basically, what they're offering is the same day rate for both, but I end up massively financially worse off, and there are fewer jobs. So that was the position I was in, and looking at it and thinking, this can't last. I've got 10 plus years work to go, and I can't see myself keep on changing and working my way through that. If it's gone this badly wrong for me and for all the consultants out there in such a short space of time, what's the future look like? And the thing is that being an independent contractor means that you value your own time. You're not bound by corporate politics and objective settings and annual reviews and all that. You go in, you do the job, and you get out. And that's really attractive. And if you want, and what many people do is they say, you know what, I'm going to take a couple of months off in the summer, get in the camper van and go around Europe. Or I'm going to go skiing for 6 weeks in the winter. Now, you can't do that if you're in a permanent job. You don't get that many holidays. But as an independent, you can do that. And that is has suddenly really been swept away from us all. And so I was looking, thinking, I can't rely on this market any longer. There must be something else out there for me. And that's where I was, beginning of the year.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, you were enjoying a certain level of lifestyle in as much as you had this freedom and flexibility
Yeah.
to do what you wanted to do when you wanted to do it. But regulations and so forth, I mean, this is happening everywhere, isn't it? It's just kind of closing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, opportunity for us. I understand.
hmm
So you came to Launchpad with no business idea. So can you walk us through what happened and how this trail running business emerged out of nothing, please?
Yeah. I mean, initially I saw a Facebook ad from a chap called Adrian Hines, and it just struck a note. And I thought, you know what? It's a no risk thing. Have a look, pay me £30. I've got a month. If I don't like it, I get my money back. Hey, what have I got to lose? And the story that was told through that really grabbed me because I could see that people had done stuff that was very, very different from what their current situation was. And I knew that I had to do something different from what my current situation was. And as I joined and we started working through the prepare, the first stage of it, it was very much rather than right, find a business and make it happen, it was find yourself, and from that you will be able to see what matters to you and what you love and enjoy and can potentially turn into a business. And I mean, I went through probably four or five different ideas. I went through running, which I ended up looking at and doing. I went through allotments and I went and gardening and stuff like that, and various other ideas which I spun up and worked through, and eventually sort of looked out in the market at what would and wouldn't necessarily work, and whittled it down to not only what would work because of the research I did, but would also work because it's what I do and care about and enjoy in that time that I'm off.
Yeah, understood. And was there a specific process or exercise that kind of triggered the idea, or was this something that kind of emerged?
I would say that I kind of was very, I let my mind relax and open up and be open to possibilities. And one of the things that we're shown and taught through going through the steps of the program and to try not to jump ahead and just almost I kind of allowed my mind to look around and find stuff. And what it ended up with was looking at this ultra and trail and ultra running community as a problem that existed in there or a need that hadn't been satisfied. And within myself, from experience, I'd had a number of mishaps, as it were, in the number of races. And I kind of thought, you know what, there may be other people who've got this same problem. So I joined a few Facebook groups in that community and fired off some questions. Does anybody else suffer from this kit chaos of explosions of stuff all over the dining table or on the bedroom floor? And eventually you shove it all in a bag and off you go, and you take it out and you think, I haven't got something. And you panic and your race is a bit messed up. And the number of people that came back and said, oh my word, I'm packing and unpacking for a week before and don't even get a chance to speak to my family. And out of just one question that went into about 5 or 6 groups, I got over 100 responses of people coming back saying, yep, that's me. And giving me, not just saying that's me, but then writing long bits of experience that they'd had. And at that point, it was, I suffer from this. And into these groups, all these people are coming back to me saying, we suffer from it too. And from that, the idea was born.
Yeah. And what I mean, and okay, so what made you think that this could be a business rather, versus this is something that I enjoy?
I think having spoken or got the feedback from a lot of people and realizing that actually there was nothing in the market, nothing whatsoever. And I looked all over the place to find something that would solve this problem. I set about in my own head creating something that would fill that gap. And realized that there are a lot of people that are out there that maybe there's a group that are super disorganized and there's a group that's super organized, this sort of OCD bunch, as it were. And the number of people who've come up to me since they've seen it in practice out in the field have gone, oh, that solves my got to have it in the right place problem or need. And building the idea really started with me on the floor with a wine box, the dividers you get in a wine box, placing them on the floor and fiddling around with that to come up with an idea. And then playing with that, taking photos of it, uploading it into AI and saying, this is the sort of thing I'm thinking of. What do we reckon? And over a period of time came up with the idea for this trail cube, which then obviously I needed to find a product or to develop one. And there was no way for me with limited funds to go out to a manufacturer and say, "Hey, I've got this idea. Can you make something brand new?"
Yeah. Yes.
And then so what I did was I went on to Alibaba and various other sites looking for something that was like this for another market that I could basically grab hold of, stick my branding on it, and move into something else. And I guess through that research, I was fortunate that there was exactly what I wanted out there. And I went, I'll have one of them. So I bought one on Amazon. As I said, it was for a completely different market.
Mm.
It arrived home and I started fiddling around with it and realized, you know what, this could well work. So before going any further, in order to test, is it going to work? I took that unbranded, as it were, prototype to a number of race events and shoved it under people's noses, as well as competitors, races, as well as race marshals and the race organizers and race directors, and said, "Hey, I've got this idea. What do you reckon?" And a few people went, "Nah, that's not me. I just wing it." It's like, well, you're not my market. That's fine. I can just disregard that. And so many people were like, "Oh, oh, yes. We like the idea. Well, when's it coming out? Is it available? Where can I buy it?" I was like, okay. So I've got the product in front of my ideal customer, and they're telling me that they like it. So that was kind of so I'd done the question out there into the ether on Facebook and the groups and what have you, and that had come back saying there was a problem. I'd worked with my wine box on the floor and found a product and got a prototype and then taken it into the market to say, "What do you reckon?" And the feedback was from the people I had identified as my avatar was yes. At which point, right, we go.
Yeah, brilliant. You've made all the right moves, obviously, with
Yeah.
all that sort of kind of research ahead of time. Um, yeah, so I mean, obviously, Stuart in the training, he talks about niche and avatar. Did you did you get did you dig deep into those topics, Owen? Did you develop an avatar?
Absolutely. I mean, once I'd been through that initial various niche ideas, whether it be gardening or walking or running and what have you, then it's okay, it's going to be running. Running's huge. It goes
Yes.
from your 100-meter sprinters through to your 5, 10, 20-day ultra marathoners. Okay, where in that do I sit that I know about? Because I know nothing about the sort of short, sharp runs. I generally run longer, and that's where I have the problem, and they had the problem. So I basically said to myself, okay, the niche will be trail runs, because for a road run, there's less kit and less danger. So you're not going to get stuck on the side of a mountain and need your emergency blanket. You're probably not going to be running through fields in the middle of the night, so you're not going to need to take a head torch with you. And so the trail running and then long distance trail running was where you need this stuff, and you really, really do need to be organized and have the right kit, because one, you might not be allowed to start a race if you haven't got it. That's happened to me. Or you might get stuck on the mountainside without the right kit and need mountain rescue to come and get you. And I've seen that happen to people. Um, and so I niched in on that ultra trail running, or trail and ultra running. And inside that, my avatar was either the person who's terribly disorganized and needs it sorting out, and then that was who I went for. But then as I was speaking to people, those that were saying, "No, I love to be super organized and this really fits the bill," was my kind of secondary one, which is given to me rather than one that I went in for.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think a lot of people probably, a lot of people they go they do coaching or content or whatever, but you've created a physical product, and I
Yeah.
think you've probably told us how you landed on that, and that you had a pretty good idea that there was already demand for it that you'd validated. But can you walk me through the idea, through going from the idea to actually having something to sell, Owen, and talk us through the steps, please.
Yeah, I mean, the idea really started with a what ca what can I create or do to solve this problem? And sorry, I kind of liked the idea of things. I like the idea of things having compartments and being in the right place. Use it, put it back where it came from. Doesn't always happen. Um, and that idea was okay. How can I do something with that? And what can I do? What can be created that's going to be of use? And as I said, I literally just had this brainwave of getting some um, wine bottle compartment things and sticking them on the floor and dropping things in and took a few photos, uploaded them into ChatGPT and started a discussion and got it to create some mock-up ideas and this, that, and the other. And then from that, we basically came up with the concept, with the concept for a physical case that would solve the problem of disorganization. And from that, as I mentioned, it was like, okay, if there is this case and it looks kind of like this, and we made it, it sounds like this AI thing is a friend of mine. In a way, it is. Between myself and the tech, we developed this sort of all singing, all dancing. This is the perfect thing for the world. And then realized, of course, there is no such thing. And to produce it will cost, even to come up with the concept and the production and all this will be tens of thousands. So that's just not going to happen. Let's bring it down from that and see how we can make it real, realistic, possible, and marketable at a price that people will pay, and at one where I'll make money. And that's when the search started online for quite a while to try and find something, as I said, that I could basically do a copy paste on.
Re-engineer.
Yeah. Well,
I've
basically
got a,
exactly the same thing, stick my logo on it and then go,
yeah.
there you go. And that's
Now I've
that's
got,
actually what happened. I found something that should be for actually is designed for mobile makeup artists.
yeah, there you go.
And I looked at it and I bought one and I put it all together with the bits of kit and stuff in it and went, you got
We're
it.
there.
We're there. I can use that. And they do them in different sizes, but I just went, okay, we'll just have that one to start with,
Yeah.
and take it out and see and go for it.
Yeah,
Having validated it as I said. Um,
it's an amazing story, I think. We used to call it when I was young. We changed it from stealing with pride to borrowing with pride because I've never done that long distance running, but I have done scuba diving. And there we had the same issue. You've got one bag with the main lung in it and the wetsuit and that. But then there's all these other bits, and they're all over the place, and they're all missing, and there was nothing in the market. And you could, in time to come, you could take this bag and start the scuba diving kit. And
Yeah, I mean, people have already got hold of it and said, "Oh, you could use this for very long runs where people have crew waiting for them at certain
yeah,
distances, where their friends are by the roadside with some supplies,
well,
and just swap. There you go, and so they know everything's there. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I can't get distracted by these other things. I've just got to
correct.
get this right. Stick with this, because I know with me that if I go, oh, I could do this and I could do that and I could do little shiny things all over. It's like, no, 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 not now. Keep this going, get this right, and then later we can consider where we might go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic, man.
So did you do this completely solo, Owen, or did you have any support along the way? Tell us
I mean,
about.
in terms of support along the way with Launch U, I very much jumped into the group coaching calls and bounced ideas around in those because they're kind of always there. And each week, or whichever stage you're in, going through the Launch U process, there are specific types of calls, like creating your avatar, coming up with your minimum offer, etc. Really going through the process step by step. And so while I was going through it, I was bouncing ideas and getting feedback and help and encouragement in those calls. But I'd also bought into the one-on-one coaching where I was able to dive deeper and dig deeper into what I was doing. And that, for me, that was a godsend. And it really helped to validate and to question and to set me off working on the things that I really should be working on, because the mentors in here have all got 10 or 15 years plus experience of doing this, and there's 20 or 30 of them. So there's hundreds of years of experience. And drawing on that for me was priceless.
Yes. So what did that give you that you couldn't have got from just, going through self-study?
I think I was challenged. I was certainly challenged. I was, in a sense, I was kept on track. The mentors kind of worked as guardrails for me, and made me keep, because early on you have your vision statement, your mission, your vision, and it was really a matter of making sure I kept that in mind and kept going for that rather than heading off down side routes. And I know being left on my own, I could have ended up going down some sort of, I don't know, rabbit hole and spending hours and hours only to bump into I don't think you get brick walls at the end of rabbit holes, but into a brick wall and have to come all the way back again and then go forward. So loads and loads of time and energy would have been wasted. But having a mentor in there to keep me going was perfect.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. And so where would you say you are now with Trail Cube, Owen?
I am in Grow, so it's out there in the market. I've been to a number of running events, and people are buying it and liking it. I've got the biggest thing I've got booked, actually it's in January, is the National Running Show. So I'm taking it to that, and that's it's the biggest event in the UK for running. Got a stall there, and it's an event where 30,000 people will come through the doors.
Yeah, good luck with
asking, and it's because I'm being a bit cheeky here, but hey, because it's a brand new product and there isn't anything else like it, I'm pitching for at least consideration for innovative running product of the year.
Yeah,
But hell, why not?
fantastic.
Just go for it.
Got to go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. Yeah, all the way. So look, if someone is watching this recording, and they're in the position that you were in, wanting to start something but having no idea what would you say to them, Owen?
Don't worry about it. I think that the key thing is we've all got something that we love. We've all got great experience at stuff in our lives. And funnily enough, one of the exercises we're asked to do is to ask other people what they think we're good at. And certainly in that, there's a lot that will come through that you think you're pretty average at, that people say, no, actually, you're really good at this. And you don't recognize it yourself. Build on that, build on what you know that drives you and that you're good at and that you enjoy. Don't worry at all for quite a long time about what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. Because the process that you go through here, actually, because you start thinking about what makes you tick first, leads you on to something that is going to work because it's yours and not just grabbing somebody else's idea and selling it.
Yeah, tremendous. Yeah, I mean, I think, that's what you're good at, what you enjoy, where there's proven market demand. It's that intersection isn't it?
Yeah, but start with what you enjoy. Don't go out there trying to find a gap in the market and fill it, because that way around, I don't think it would work, because your heart's not in it and the skill set to do it you might not have. And you don't even know for a start, how are you going to sell stuff? Are you going to do coaching? Are you going to do drop shipping? Are you going to do e-commerce? Are you going to do online coaching? Are you going to do physical products? I don't know. Don't worry. It's fine. You will find, going through the process, where you're going to be, what you're going to do, and how you're going to do it. Don't worry about that to start off with. That'll come. That'll come. If you start getting worked up about that, then it's going to blur you. It's going to get you all confused at the start. Just don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's something that emerges, isn't it, through the process?
Yes, very much so. For me, that was the case. Yes, very much so.
Yeah, but
It's so true.
Sorry.
Sorry, John. It's so true what Owen just said, because when I did the previous version of Launchpad, I started by deciding that I was going to do a training course to teach people how to market their guest houses. And I'm fairly driven, so I set that as an objective, and I got on and I've done it, and it's there and it's working. But I'm missing what I see in you, which is this joy, this light. You're enjoying what you're doing, and it's
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
in a way
fantastic.
it takes over, but it's taking over in a healthy way, because I'm enjoying it. Work can take over in an unhealthy way, where you have to do it and you're doing it for somebody else.
Yeah,
This, I don't have to do it, but I enjoy doing it, and I'm doing it for me.
that is
And
so
what's
cool.
the difference that
That's
makes?
my objective in December.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're working hard, your stress levels are low and you're enjoying life. That seems all right to me.
First question from Gary: how did you find the supplier of the trail cube?
Okay, so once I'd found, I mean, I'd literally trawled through Alibaba, and there's a
Yeah,
search term at the top, and I was putting in various search terms to find it. It's like kit organizer, travel case with pockets or compartments, and through stuff. And I found a company that produced. Actually, that was where I found what I needed. At that point, I had a coaching call with Jay. It was one of the group coaching calls. I said, "Look, what do I do?" And he said, "Okay, there's a company in China called Jing Sourcing. Go to them. Yeah, go to them,
yeah.
speak to them, give them the link to the product you've found, and then deal with them to work out how to order it, how to brand it, how to do this, that, and the other, and they will take you through the process and get it shipped." So I just did. So I just got in touch with Jing Sourcing and said, "Hi, I found this thing and this is what I need. Can you help me?" And they went, "Absolutely, that's what we're here for." And I just followed that process.
That's
It's
brilliant.
very simple.
And that's brilliant. Are you drop shipping the product, though?
No, I've got the initial kit. The first batch I bought, I had delivered to me at home, so I'm shipping them out myself.
How many was that?
That was 50,
Okay.
and I've had awful problems with Amazon opening an Amazon seller's account. That's pretty much there now. And so what I'm going to do next for the next batch is to get that shipped directly from or get Jing Sourcing to have it shipped direct from the manufacturer to the Amazon warehouse, and then it will go from there. So I'll be completely hands off. So it won't be drop shipped. It will be in stock in
Yeah.
Luton or something. And when somebody in the UK orders it on Prime, there it goes.
So you've learned all of these words you're saying, because I've not done any real product stuff. So all these words and things, you're speaking like a professional now. And
You are 6 months. Yeah, I mean, there is, yes, there's a steep learning curve. But when you're learning something you enjoy, um, it's not as hard as you think.
yeah,
Yeah, if you're learning something you don't want to do, like, I don't know, I couldn't stand calculus while I was at school, so it took forever to get my head around it. This, though, I'm loving it, enjoying it, and it's going in nice and quick and sticking.
Yeah, I think
Well,
we need to.
thank you.
I think, David, can I just say something? I know that I can't share my screen and show you how it all works because I'm not working through it myself at the moment.
Okay.
But I know that in the beta version of Launchpad with the Odyssey AI assistant, is that the one that you're
Right.
working through?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you can set up an unlimited number of missions. They're called missions. It's called the mission map, isn't it? The
Right.
frame. And perhaps, if you go back, as you've suggested, you go back to the beginning and you start thinking maybe more, if it's possible, thinking more deeply and more thoroughly about answering about the questions that are being posed to you, then I think what you'll find is the AI assistant, this Odyssey assistant, will start to generate the ideas. And I think you can engage with that AI assistant. And if you can't engage with that one, then just talk to Claude or ChatGPT, or get one of the external ones, and have a conversation with it. And 'cause I use it for brainstorming ideas, and I even bounce stuff about between two AIs, and I get them talking to each other. And I think if we persevere at this, it is about self-discovery, as Owen was saying. It's about, what are you good at? What do you enjoy? Where is there proven market demand? And the modules are going to help you with the research exercises that Owen's spoken about today. Putting a question out on Facebook groups. You've got the community here, the mentors community. You
Yeah.
might find examples of your avatar within our, global community. I just think it's a case of perseverance and digging more deeply within
Okay.
yourself, because it's self-discovery. I can see Owen's nodding along. I don't know whether Owen wants to add anything to this, but I believe that the answers are all inside you. But we kind
Okay.
of we kind of lose touch with ourselves. If you've been in corporate or you've been doing something for decades in the world of work, when I became what I call financially free 2 or 3 years ago, I've realised I've got all this time on my hands now, and I'm free. I had no idea what I wanted. I had no idea what brought me joy. I'd completely lost touch with myself. I've been so wrapped up in the day to day, the grind, and having to show up and do the work and make these pieces of furniture. Now, this isn't about me, it's about you. But it's there. It's all there inside, and I think we've got to persevere and dig. I don't know whether does Owen want to add anything to this, because he's been through this process.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're dead right there, John. And David, you can open as many missions as you like, so that will open up various niches and that will help you through. And I think just taking it right back to two words, this program is called Launch You, and I think that's really
Okay.
important to keep in mind. It's about you first and foremost, and what will make you happy, successful, secure, however you define that for yourself. And out of that, because you're concentrating on you, when you go out there with whatever it is you come up with, it's you that's going out there. You're not acting.
Right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, David. Thank you.
Thanks,
Alex,
David.
you've got your little special golden hand up.
Yes. Um, Owen, if I understood you correctly, you opted for one-on-one coaching, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So what I find is that every single mentor, well, they're all precious in my opinion. They all have a lot of expertise, but they each bring in like a different perspective. So I found myself getting lost, not on my product or my avatar or my niche. That has been quite clear, but on strategy. So I would have a session with one mentor, and I would decide, oh, this is the way to go. Then I would have a call with another mentor, and okay, that's the way to go. So, question is, are you working with the same person, or have you worked with different mentors on different stages?
I've absolutely stuck with the same mentor through,
Okay.
because because she understands my business now, where I'm going, what makes me tick. So I mean, we get two types of mentor in the one-to-one. You get a kind of business side mentor to help with that, and also your technical implementation mentor
Yeah,
to help you set up the tech, which a lot
yeah.
of us are like, well, I don't know where to start, help. So for each of those, I've stuck with the same person throughout.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I found that really useful. I mean, I've been tempted to go off and speak to somebody else, but for the very reason that you've mentioned, I've gone, well, that might actually take me somewhere else, but this is working as we are, so stick with it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Very nice. Very useful, that, Owen. I've got that problem that Alex is talking about in heaps.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't want to miss out. And
Well, the thing is on the mosquito, sorry, so sorry for cutting in. The way not to miss out is that there are so many group coaching calls. So if you think, actually, I could do with a different angle from somebody else, get onto one of the group calls and throw it in there, and then continue with the single mentor for your one-to-one sessions, and grab some ideas from outside there, so you don't eat up your one-to-one mentoring by going down different
yeah,
routes. Explore those in the group mentoring session, because generally there's, I mean, times three, five, six people in them, and they're an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours long. So you'll absolutely get those other questions and other ideas out of those calls, which are there anyway. So make
yeah.
use of them for that.
That's it's You've really inspired me. That it's crazy, and uh, I want to do it properly this time. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I decided that once I'd as it were signed the check and joined, it was this is you've got to go for it. Don't faff about. Um, Take everything from it that you possibly can, because it's there for us to take and to learn and to grow from, and just dive in and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alex, I'm just going to chip in because that's what I do. So I remember years ago when I was 20 years old, I managed to, a buddy of mine got me an interview for a job as a sales representative, and I managed to blag the job, right, even though I wasn't qualified. And I realised as soon as I was out on the road talking to paint merchants and hardware store owners, I realised I was out of my depth. And so I thought, okay, I need to learn about salesmanship, and I found the Dale Carnegie sales training course. And what I took from that, there was this idea that they give you the How to Win Friends and Influence People book, and other, there's night classes every week for about 3 months. And the idea was you take what works for you and you disregard the rest. It's never all going to, if you read any of these, if you read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, there just might be one or two things in there that you get out of that book and they stick in your life. So obviously, when you talk to, if you ask 100 people a question, you're going to get 100 opinions. And you just have to, we have to develop our own kind of discernment. And, I mean, we've got a sense of intuition, and I think we have a reasonably decent gut feel for what we feel comfortable with. And yeah, so I'm with Owen 100%. I think he's a shining example of somebody who's approached this with an open mind and a willingness to actually do the work. I think that's all that's required, really.
It is, and sometimes a lot of people may think, how am I going to fit this into the day or into the week? So long as you're doing something every day, an hour or two, but make sure you do something every day, because if you miss a few, it's like going to the gym. You go regularly and then you miss a bit. It's like, can I be bothered? I can't be bothered to go back. Oh, it's going to be hard. It's going to feel bad. I just feel, actually, no, probably keep going. Don't miss it. Keep going. Don't miss it. And there'll come a point after about 3 months where it becomes natural to do something every day. I'm busy pretty much all the time. I've got to do some training for these runs I go on. So I've disciplined myself to wake up very early every morning. I'm up at 5 and I do 2 hours on this every day before work. That works. It does mean I'm in bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But what else am I going to do at that time? Sit in front of the telly watching crap. Well, I may as well be in bed and get up at a quiet time, get this done, and then not have to worry about it. Because if the rest of the day turns into a pile of muck, I've got the Launch U work done, and that's actually the work that matters to me. It may not suit everybody setting the alarm for that time, but you'll find if it matters to you, which I hope for everybody in here it does, then you will somehow for yourself find a way that works.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Owen. Mitch, is anything else coming to chat at all?
One question from Gary Kent. How long does it take you from when you start until you made your first sale?
I started in April, mid-April was when I joined Launch U, and my first sale was in mid-August. So
4 months.
4 months from joining with no idea to making my first sale of the physical product.
Cool. Here we go.
Yeah, and that was a mistake. I hadn't even advertised it or anything, and I was on holiday at the time in walking in Wales, and my phone beeped. You have a sale. I was like, oh, and of course I wasn't. I was there. I wasn't expecting it because I hadn't even advertised the damn thing yet. And so the last thing I was expecting was to make a sale. 3 days later, I got home. I thought I better got my laptop open and checked it out. So you made a sale to this guy Stephen. He lives in North Dakota. I was like, oh man, I forgot to set the blooming system to say UK only. This is going to cost me a fortune. I had to ship it.
Good. That's good, man.
And immediately shut down my e-com site to.
But there's market in Dakota.
UK only.
But that means the USA is open.
Yeah.
We're going to see you on Dragon's Den, aren't we?
Oh, come on. I'll tell you, there's no reason why not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm at the National Running Show. I've gone to stuff it. I'm going to put myself up for a Product of the Year award. Yeah, these sort of the imposter. Somebody has always done it. Somebody has already done these things in different areas and different businesses and different models, and somebody will do it again. Why shouldn't that be any one of us? There's no reason why not.